I took Professor Covarrubias' course this particular winter quarter, and I can honestly say that it's been one of the most rewarding experiences thus far here at UCLA. I can honestly say that I learned so much about my daily struggles and the struggles of my peers through the beauty of communication through this.
We had a communal exam and a praxis project to materialize the knowledge we gained in the classroom. The name of the symposium we had was called Critical Examination of Law Enforcement Power, Theory, Action, and Reflection.
It has really shown me in this class how theory needs a lot of practice, and practice needs theory. And you can't really have one without the other.
What Paulo Freire has taught me about education is that education is love. Love doesn't silence, it doesn't harm, it doesn't oppress, it doesn't manipulate, it doesn't devalue, it doesn't abandon. Love liberates you and those around you.
Dialogue was always welcomed, and the class felt more like a community than a lecture. We all learned from each other and respected the knowledge and experience we all brought to the lecture. We all learned that everyone has their own experience.
And that's what I learned from this class, because everyone was like putting their input, everyone was giving us their stories, and from hearing other people's stories I was able to reflect on their experiences and also connected with my own experiences.
Most important about this class that I've learned, or my biggest reflection, is that we forget how important reflection is, based on Freire's principles of praxis. It's easy to apply theory and action, but reflecting is the most part, because we also have to judge ourselves.
The key aspect of it, I think that would be reflection. I feel like even trying to recognize the traumas that I faced growing up, and figuring out that I haven't really had the time to reflect upon them.
Before this class, I wasn't aware that there's so much intersectionality in my own life, and I think recognizing it is a way to empower myself in the classroom.
Another thing that I feel is really important and that I was able to learn in this classroom was that education happens everywhere. And during the symposium, I learned that it is really powerful when you claim space, and when people get together just to talk about their struggles and to come up with solutions. And I feel that that's something that we need as a part of the community, start claiming spaces.
The way the class was structured challenged us to work together and create community. In many classroom spaces, we are taught to battle with one another and compete for grades, and this classroom went against that.
Creating different ways of going back to our communities and being able to create dialogue, to really see the importance of talking amongst each other, of creating this knowledge, not only through institutions but through own personal experiences.
I was able to really think about who I am as a person and really reflect on issues, and really change my way of thinking when it comes to certain things. I've become more open-minded and more accepting of different views and ideas, and giving myself the opportunity to listen to others, whereas before I feel I was conditioned to not really take others' opinions into consideration.
A lot in meritocracy and how you work hard, like you'll be successful, like you'll get what you want, and how that doesn't actually play out. For a lot of people, it's an unequal playing field from the beginning.
Freire's teaching method has helped me just evaluate and understand my own experience tremendously. Just some background on me. I used to do security work because I'm a non-traditional student for probably about 4.5, 5 years before I finally could be able to be a full-time student. And just perceptions of law enforcement and what they can do for you and who they are. I've never had a negative image of them, but when I started looking at my experience, I realized how wrong I was. Not wrong in the sense that there's not good people or bad people, but it's just, I guess Freire would say you need to humanize the oppressor and the oppressed. In my experience, I was really close to law enforcement. It's just, I always saw them as an extension of morality or help or anything that I needed. But it wasn't until, I don't know, probably when I was 19 or 20 years old when I got pulled over. Just a routine traffic stop. I knew the routine. I knew what to do. Like, you just act politely, comply, do what you're supposed to do. But you have these people who may be frightened, scared, or I don't know what goes through the mind of law enforcement, because I know what it entails. But they scare you into things. And during a routine stop, I should have been, I guess, just her fear scared me into doing something where I reached for my pocket. And it should have been a routine stop, nothing confrontational, and I ended up with a gun pointed at my head. And those are the kind of experiences that you can't ignore or deny that they happened. Those experiences are what problematize the world. Like, you can hear all the police are keeping us safe, whatever. You can even be like me and love, like, had a respect for them. But at the end of the day, when you see those experiences where you're put into a situation based on either a racialized or institutionalized history of racism, you're forced to face those realities. And Freire is huge on problematizing your experience. And I think that's what I learned the most from this class, just to not take stuff at face value. And also, just because you know things are messed up.
Quien enseña, aprende a enseñar. Y quien enseña, aprende a aprender. Paulo Freire. En este momento, se acerca una patrulla. Sin razón y sin motivo, comenzaron a disparar. Por favor, no me disparen, no me disparen. Me convertí en una víctima más del abuso de la policía.